All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. Let me tell you a little bit a story real quick. Months ago, we talked about this big island of refuse that's floating in the middle of the ocean, and a lot of that garbage is plastic. And so there were a lot of you that objected to the fact that we misuse this resource and we pollute all over the place with this plastic, and so I do experimenting with stuff like this, where solar, where you have this great resource of solar, these photons raining down, and how can we make better use of it? So I set up these labs and really test it and find out the math that's behind a lot of these big big things. And so plastic is one of them. And so we have this immense resource, but it's valueless. Plastic is so cheap. So when you see a plastic bottle, you don't pick it up and think it has something of value, because it literally doesn't. It's pennies, like half a penny for a plastic bottle. So it's so disposable, and there's such a massive amount of it that we don't value it. Even like we recycle, we put it in our recycle bin and we give it to someone to recycle. It's not like we're selling it because it's so valueless. The people recycling couldn't even afford to give you anything for it. So the people who do recycling, they do it for the sake of they want to make an impact. They're not doing it for financial reasons. And so my son and I were taking on sort of like a scientific experimental process with plastic. We got an industrial plastic shredder. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take plastic and we're going to shred it down to granules. And we're going to start doing stuff with it. We're going to make it into objects. We're going to melt it down. We're going to use injection molding. We're going to try all kinds of different things to see if we can add any value to it. If I'm able to create a product for the secondary uses for plastic, then I can afford to pay people to collect that plastic up. And like the 1840s, the gold miners, right? They all went to California because there was something that they wanted to go grab, and because it had value, and bring it back, because it was a game changer if they were to find some gold. Well, if there was any value in plastic and there was a big swarm of it out in the middle of the ocean, and somehow we were able to give value to the resource, in 2 seconds, people, entrepreneurs and business people would be out there collecting this vast resource because we could actually do something with it. If it were big chunks of gold floating in the ocean, it would not be there right now because somebody would have harvested it down already. And if you've ever seen when they do Easter egg hunts, right, they put those Easter eggs in that field, and you see a bunch of toddlers that go out into the field, and in a swarm, less than 45 seconds, every Easter egg has been consumed and picked up and put in a bag. So if we can find a way to get plastic as a resource, assign it some value, find an end to it, breathe some value into it, then I know that private enterprise will go and collect this resource as part of the system. So the cleanup would be, in order to, if I gave you a bag of bottles and I found a way to do it, I'm going to give the marketplace a chance to, with their dollars, support something like that, and I'm going to get the collectors a reason to collect it and hand it off. So if I were to give you $1 for a bag of bottles, would you go out and collect bottles to pay, to come and hand them off to Joe as he starts this project? But anyway, in the coming weeks, I'll share the whole story about what we have planned. Lots of experimenting. So you're going to watch me crush and shred bottles and make stuff with it. And then I'm going to have these product offerings for all of you to support me on this experimental endeavor. So we're going to take a couple weeks off. We'll see you in a couple weeks. This has been the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN.